Van had never imagined herself in a situation like this, forced into a marriage with a ruthless mafia king, Jungkook. She knew she had to tread carefully. As they stood in the room they were going to share, she couldn't help but feel a surge of defiance within her. Mrs. June, Jungkook's mother, had teased Vian as she helped her settle into the room. Vian could sense the underlying tension between them, the unspoken knowledge of what was expected of her as the wife of the Mafia King, but she refused to give in to fear. As Mrs. June left the room, Vian turned to see Jungkook standing there, his cold eyes fixed on her. She braced herself for his coldness, his detachment, but nothing could have prepared her for his words. Don't expect anything from me, Jungkook stated bluntly. I was forced into this marriage just like you. Van held her ground, meeting his gaze head on. I feel the same way. This marriage was forced upon me and I have no interest in you. Jungkook's eyebrows raised in surprise at her boldness. This was not the me. Submissive woman he had expected. Van was a 25-year-old savage, independent, crazy and wild woman who refused to be cowed by Mafia King. Great. Then you can find a room and shift there because we don't have to share same room and bed. He said while taking off his coat while Van frowned. It's mine now. You can find yourself another room. She replied immediately while looking directly in his eyes, not ready to break off, while Jungkook's gaze hardened as he realized the challenge he faced. This woman was not going to yell to him easily, but he was not one to back down from a challenge either. It's my room, Jungkook stated, his voice low and dangerous while Vian stood on her ground, her eyes flashing with defiance. I'm not moving if we want to keep up appearances for your parents' sake. It's better if we act like married couple. They will find out if we are not sharing a room and I don't want any more trouble. She said, folding her arms around her chest while Jungkook felt annoyed. I don't want anyone force me for anything. They already put me into this situation, now cooperate, Mr. June Jungkook, she said and started finding her pajamas to wear, while Jungkook stared at her for a long moment. Fine, I will sleep on the couch until my parents are here. Then you have to leave my room, he said when Vian stopped. She turned to face him. Let me correct you. Now it's mine. I like this room and everything here. You have to bear with me. I left my house, my room, and now this room is mine officially, she said when Jungkook clenched his jaw. But she didn't feel scared. She waved her hand at Jungkook with a grin and went inside the bathroom to change her heavy dress. Great, now bear her. He sighed frustratingly before he also went to freshen up. The two never thought of living in the same roof in the same room, but fate has already planned something else for them. Jungkook and Wan both doesn't want to get married and come into any relationship, but their parents want to see them growing. They want to see their grandchildren playing around, but whenever Wan's parents arranged date for her, she refused to meet the guy without even seeing him. She was 25-year-old and wanted to focus on her career while Jungkook turned 29 just like that, refusing, rejecting and denying for every girl because he was not interested in getting married, having someone beside him. He was emotionless as he was dangerous mafia. He was far away from love and affection. He was cold, never felt emotions nor having feelings for any woman. Both of their families were having hard time because of the two. And when they meet and share their stories how their kids are troubling them, they couldn't help but ended up marrying Jungkook Vian forcefully as their problems were same. Both families did lots of drama, emotional blackmail them and in the end got successful not knowing they both will end everything before start. Later at night, Vian sat herself comfortably in Jungkook's bed and started reading her novel in the dim light, as usual like she do in her parents' house. While Jungkook was facing difficulty in sleep, as the couch was small, he was big and tall man after all. You can sleep on the bed if you want to, she said. Her eyes were on her book, but she was noticing him, how he was not feeling comfortable. No thanks, he replied shortly and coldly made Vian roll her eyes. No need to be arrogant. The bed is huge. There is a lot of space. The couch is not going to adjust its space on its own only because you are sleeping on it. You are not going to be fit in that couch, she said. But Jungkook clenched his jaws. His legs were out of the couch. He wasn't able to straighten them. I said I'm fine, he replied without even looking at her. Oh, I think I know why you are not ready to share bed. She decided to irritate him, her eyes filled with mischief as she spoke, looking at his back because his back was facing her. Because you cannot able to control yourself finding a hot beautiful girl beside you. She smirked when she saw him stop moving. You better close your mouth before I throw you out of the room. I don't care what people might think about me, but I think you don't want to get embarrassed on your first night. He backfired, made Ryan to glare at him. She closed her book and, while cursing him, lay down, pulling blanket over her body. I wish you had a back pen tomorrow. She murmured and fell asleep while Jungkook sat on the couch, sighing heavily, as he was still not able to find peace. He stretched his body and then glared at Ryan's figure. Peacefully sleeping on my bed after snatching my piece. He murmured under his breath and then closed his eyes before opening them. That's my bed. I will sleep on it and show her that I'm not dying to get close to her. What she think of herself? Stubborn, vile, he thought, and after grabbing his pillow, he made his way towards his bed before he made a barrier with pillows and lay down on his side of the bed. Luckily, it was his side. He was used to sleep at this side. I will see what I can do with her. She is surely not going to stay in my room, he thought while his eyes were closed. As he found his muscles getting relaxed, he fell asleep in no time. Both were stubborn and Vian was already made her mind to annoy him as much as she could. She was not going to sit silently and let him disrespect her. She was not afraid of him from the start when they were kids. She remembered how she wanted to play with him, but he always stayed cold. He always preferred spending his time alone, telling her not to disturb him. Vine was cheerful, energetic, and innocent little girl. She always wanted to be friends with him, but he never let her come close to him. Then she went to abroad for studies and come back 3 years ago after getting totally changed. Now she became more lively, brave, bold, and her friends call her Wildcat. The next morning of their marriage, Jungkook woke up and his eyes landed on a figure sleeping beside him. Her back was facing him, his eyes half open and vision blurred. His heart thudded in his chest hardly as the realization hit him early morning that he is a married man now. Jungkook slowly sighed, closing his eyes and then again opened with a frown. What's that? He whispered in his deep, husky voice and turned his face towards Vian. There was a small rose engraved on the left side of her back, the black lines of the tattoo, and just a red color on rose escaped his heartbeat for a second. He felt the urge to touch it, but quickly he shrugged his mind. What the hell is wrong with me? He thought, and getting up from his bed, he went inside the bathroom. The days started to pass. They both were living their lives as they wanted, but when they come face to face in the morning and night, Wine didn't left any chance to annoy and irritate him. Jungkook was clearly pleased by her behavior because he was not interfering in Wine's life. He stays calm and quiet, but Wine, with evil brain, could not find peace without making him angry. She was still in Jungkook's room. How much he tried, Wine didn't laugh, nor Jungkook, because he was also stubborn as her, even more than her. But because of some reasons, he was not showing his that side that scared people. It was again a new day, new morning, but not start peacefully. Yeah, I don't have your tie. Stop following me, she said while walking down the stairs, and Jungkook was behind her. Liar. I saw you hiding my tie and it's in your pocket, he said as he stepped near Wine. Her eyes got widened. She turned and started running while Jungkook chased her. Wine, you better stop. I'm getting late for my office. It's not funny. I'm not in mood to play with you hide and seek. Stop being childish, he said while Wine stopped as she turned towards him with a smirk. Catch me if you can, Mr. Mafia, she said and showed him his tie before inserting it again in her jeans pocket. While Jungkook sighed heavily, I'm telling you last time give me my tie back, either you will regret, he said coolly, his voice deep as he looked into her eyes, sent shiver down to her spine. Wine didn't notice Jungkook was slowly approaching her as she unknowingly got froze. She felt he possessed her with His eyes, that was both dark and dangerous, his presence intimidating. Jungkook, in a second, held her hand and twisted at her back, made her gasp. When he came near her, she didn't saw him walking. She thought her heart was beating fastly. Leave my hand, it's hurt, you stupid. She yelled in frustration as she wiggled to break free, but his hold on her waist was tight but firm. I told you, didn't I? He whispered, leaning closer to her ear, made her stomach twitch. She could feel her cheeks start burning because they were in a very position. But why? Why she felt that way? She don't like him, right? Yeah, leave me. I'm giving you your toy. She said when realization hit her, but got confused when Jungkook chuckled instead, holding her hand. No need, I got my tie. He said as he showed her the tie hanging in his other hand, made Maya's eyes widen. You shameless, how dare you touch me? She yelled while struggling as the tie was in her jeans back pocket. I'm not interested in touching you. Did you feel my touch when I take out my tie, huh? He said, and just when he leave her hand, she tried to snatch his tie in anger. As now she wanted to teach him lesson to mess with her, to make her so helpless and embarrassed. But Jungkook was quick enough to hold her again. Wrong move, little bird. You are standing with me, not a random guy who loses his conscience by your one punch. He said near her ear with a grin, made Vian to push him with her shoulder, while Jungkook chuckled, seeing her so helpless. But as they both were busy in their sleep fight, they didn't notice Jungkook's parents were watching them shortly. Jungkook, leave her right now, he said coldly, made Vian and Jungkook both flinched together. Vian got a chance. She immediately freed her hand and ran to Mrs. Jones. Mom, did you see what he was doing? That's how he behaves with me. She started her drama pretending to be innocent so that Mrs. June scolded him while Mrs. June patted her head. That's how I raised you, Jungkook. Didn't I teach you to be polite with women? He asked, glaring at Jungkook, who was gritting his teeth as Van was smirking, standing behind Mrs. June. Mom, Dad, you guys come at wrong time. She was pissing me off. She made me chase her. I don't want to know anything. We saw what you were doing, Jungkook. I don't believe that's how you treat her. She stopped Jungkook to explain, while Van winked at Jungkook, made him clench his fist. Mom, listen. No, Jungkook, that's how you guys will give us grandchildren. She said, but Jungkook and Van both froze. Van's cheeks turned red, while Jungkook raised his rose, seeing her face as how she got all red and nervous. Mom, that's what I'm saying. Van looked at him confusedly. So do Mr. and Mrs. June. While Jungkook smirked, looking directly at Van. We were just going to do that, but she was running in whole house. You guys disturb us. I was just asking for a kiss, that's it. He said made Van's heart drop. She was looking at him in disbelief with wide eyes, while Mrs. June cleared her throat. Actually, we wanted to meet you too. That's why we came. It's fine, you two can continue, she said while smiling awkwardly. Go, go, Van. She lightly pushed Van towards Jungkook, made her look at her parents-in-law in shock, who was smiling. She then looked towards Jungkook and glared him, without moving an inch. It's okay now, you guys enjoy. I'm getting late, he coolly said and walked away mid Van sign in relief. How could he say something like this? She was shocked and surprised as she couldn't believe on her ears that he can speak like that. Oh wait, did he just call me little bird? She murmured slowly as a small smile appeared on her lips, but she blinked her eyes. Ew. She made a weird face as she realized she should not feel good. The days turned into months. Now it's been 2 months they both were living together. Not like married couple but more like enemies teasing and pulling each other's legs. Their barking little fights never turned less. But now they both started to feel different. They were falling for each other but too stubborn to accept or confess. That Jungkook, who doesn't like her and I, was now missed her. Whenever she went to her parents to stay or hang out with her friends, he started to feel empty without her. He now felt good seeing her sleeping beside him, or sometimes got emotional and excited reading her novels. While Van also looked for any chance to get close to him, she started waking up early just to see him working out shirtless. And when he asked, she said she is also come for workout, but in real she just drooled over him all the time. That was not unnoticed by Jungkook. He was not a mafia just by his name. He knows what cooking in people's mind, but he didn't say anything to her because he also liking it when she smiled, looking at him with red cheeks, thinking he was not watching her. As the days passed, one day Jungkook informed Ryan to be ready at night because they are going for a business party and she has to join him even if she doesn't want to. Ryan got ready without any excuse, but deep down she was feeling sad as she thought he didn't like her. They were going to act as a happy married couple. She chose a full length, simple but elegant black dress that was backless till her waist, with thick, shiny beaded strap, and was perfectly fitting on her cuffs. Jungkook got shocked seeing her. He even forgot to blink and breathe for a while. When he saw her coming towards him near the car for the first time, he helped her to sit in the car like a gentleman that gives Ryan butterflies. After meeting with everyone, Ryan was feeling bored. As always, she was tired of talking with ladies and non-stop introductions with unknown and known people. She excused herself and headed towards a bar. She ordered juice for herself and sat there alone, not knowing she got someone's attention as her back was facing towards Jungkook's rival Michael. Jungkook took a glance at Ryan and found her quickly sitting near the bar, but then his eyes saw Michael, whom he hated the most, and in seconds his eyes turned dark in anger when he found out he was looking at Ryan and the way Michael was staring her. Jungkook knows his intentions were not right. The way he licked his lip made Jungkook's blood boil in anger. Michael was a womanizer and they never in good terms. Jungkook excused himself and immediately walked towards Ryan, his eyes never leaving her, as he feared if he blinked or looked away she might go vanish from his sight, while Ryan was unbothered from everything sipping her juice when she flinched as a hand suddenly wrapped around her waist from behind, but she instantly got relaxed when she found its Jungkook hand that was wrapped around her in a possessive yet protective way. You scared me, Jungkook. She breathed out and her heart dropped when Jungkook suddenly placed a kiss on her bare back, right on her tattoo. She felt whole zoo start dancing in her stomach, feeling his warmth. She is my wife, she belongs to me only. If you or anyone else dare to see her, I will not hesitate to poke those eyes. He said out loud enough so Michael could hear. He clenched his jaws and looked away while Vine looked at Jungkook. Confusedly as she turned to face him, her heart was still beating fastly. What's the matter, Jungkook? Why are you looking so angry? And why did you just kiss me out of nowhere? Can't you see people are watching us? She stopped and Jungkook finally looked at her. She gulped, as she couldn't read his expressions, as his eyes were showing mixed emotions. He was jealous and angry, but there was also something else that she didn't understand, but she knows he was jealous. You don't have to worry about anything and anyone. You are mine, my wife, and it's only my right to see you with love, or in other many ways. If I ever saw anyone watching out my wife, I swear I will not want before making their life worse than hell. He said as he tugged her hair behind her ear, made her heart skip a beat. Goosebumps covered her body as he pulled her closer. Are you for real? You don't have to act right now, she said as his was on the first night rung in her ear, shattering her hopes. While Jungkook looked deep in her eyes, his hand resting on her waist while he was playing with the hem of her dress that caused his finger brush over her skin. If you want, I can pinch you so that you will believe everything is real, Ryan. As he grazed his hand on her waist to pinch with a grin, her eyes widened. No, don't you dare, Jungkook. She quickly said, made him frown while she looked away in embarrassment. It tickled. She whispered, made Jungkook chuckle. That's fantastic. Now no one can save you from me because I will love to tickle you so that my house gets echoed with your giggles and laughter, he said with a soft smile as a kiss on her forehead made her heart swell up with happiness. I love you, Jungkook. I love you, Ryan. The two confessed together at the same time that made both laugh together as Jungkook protectively embraced her and she hugged him back without caring of the world and anything.